not be a firefighter for the time being at least. And then Sam Paulson is based out of Station 2. He's a resident of Tonka Bay. And he also had significant job changes. He works for the Edina School District, and his role kind of changed. He's working quite a bit now there. And he's a fairly recent addition to our Lumley Fire Department. He joined it in December of 2022. So he is unfortunately leaving as well, and kind of, at least for the time being, getting out of the firefighter business. So as anyone knows who's operated fire departments as we have for many years, I just read an article the other day that the biggest challenge facing fire departments today are recruiting and retention of firefighters. So, but the good news is we have 3 additional applicants that are. I spoke with Chief Allen today. We have 3. We continue to have 3 applicants who are in the hiring process, and still got more vetting to go through. But our hope is to get those hired by the end of the year. So there'll be some replacements along the way as well. So a couple of updates when it comes to items E and F. And again, we talked about the holiday tree lighting on December 8th. And we are going to reappoint Anita Secord as a member of the Planning Commission if we pass this resolution. And also Sled Dog Day is coming up at Birches once again in November. So another great event in our city. And thank you for the donation of 3,000 LED holiday lights to decorate the holiday tree in Holbrook Park. And that is on behalf of the Ace Hardware, or specifically Donnie Chilston. Okay, that's terrific. So thank you to Donnie and to Ace. All right, with that, am I any other questions for staff or points to make regarding the consent agenda? And I entertain a motion to accept tonight's consent agenda.
Make a motion to accept tonight's consent agenda.
Second.
All right, thank you. Motion second. Any further discussion? All those in favor? Aye. Opposed? Motion carries unanimously. Item 6, open correspondence. Open correspondence is an item on the agenda in which the public may address the City Council. No formal action is taken by the City Council, and comments are limited to 5 minutes or less. We wish to approach, and we have one speaker tonight. Mr. Bash, welcome.
Mr. Mayor, council members, thank you for letting me be here tonight. I am Mike Bash. I live at 1680 Bowling Lane in Long Lake. I'm here tonight not as a Long Lake resident, but as chair of the Orono School Board. And I'm here tonight to invite you and other residents of Long Lake to participate in our upcoming strategic planning process for the Orono School District. You went through a lot of work doing your 2024 comprehensive plan. We're not quite that grand. Our strategic plan is only for 5 years, but we need to update it, and it's very important for the district that we do that. And so we are inviting all the members of our community to be participants in that. And I have 2 opportunities I'd like to talk to you about tonight. You all got this in the mail last week. You've got a copy sitting in front of you. I hope you've read it cover to cover, late night meeting around with the family to read everything. We're doing some pretty cool stuff, and we're very proud of what's in here. So I hope you had a chance to read it. But tonight what I'd like to talk to you about is on page 9, which is about our strategic planning. And there's 2 things on here. Now the first part is about a community survey that we're doing through the end of November. And if you go to the oronoschools.org website, or if you use this QR code right now, you can get to that survey. Now, this is a survey done by a school district. So once you do this, once you open up the survey, there's some demographic questions. But because it's done by a school, it's not true or false, it's not A, B, C, D, it's essay questions. I don't know about you, but essay questions were not my favorite in school, but they're actually open-ended questions about what you think about the Orono School District. Things that you think we've done really well, things that you think we shouldn't change, maybe something that we should change, what you see as the future of the Orono schools. And we think that's very important. So they're open-ended questions that we invite, again, anybody in the community to fill out the survey and submit it by November 30th. Now the second part, when you see this little diagram here, in the middle here, after we've done some community input stuff, we're going to have a core group that's going to help put this strategic plan, the draft of the strategic plan together. Now that's going to be parents, it's going to be alumni parents, it's going to be people that are too young to have a student yet. It's going to be business people. We're going to have geographic representation. We're going to have different ages. We're going to try to get a whole cross-section of the Orono School District community to be part of this core group that's going to do the hard work. Now, there's another QR code on here that you can apply for this. And again, because it's from a school, there's a little demographic stuff, but then the questions are more open-ended, essay kind of questions to apply to be part of that group. So again, and the deadline for that is December 30th. And so I would encourage you, really smart people that you know in the community that might be good members of that group, to please apply so that we can, again, so that we can get the best in our community to be part of our strategic planning process. Any questions about that, or for that matter, about the school, but any questions about kind of the survey and the application to be part of the core planning team?
Is this the first time that you've done this, where you've thrown it out to the community to really get their input through a QR code maybe?
Well, through a QR code, yes. Again, if you go to our website, though, what's the correct term, Jeanette, the pop-up? You said it today and I forgot, or yesterday.
Oh, forced pop-ups,
It's a forced pop-up. So if you go to the Orono Schools website, the strategic plan thing pops up and you can click on the link and it'll take you to the survey. If you don't have to have the QR code, it'll take you straight to the survey if you want to do that. But yeah, this is the first time. When we did this 5 years ago, we did have a core planning team. I don't remember exactly how we surveyed the community prior to that.
Okay. Great.
But again,
Well, I think you might get more data than you know what to do with.
that's okay. That's good.
Yeah.
The school is a really important part of our community, and it's important that everybody have that opportunity to say what they think we should be doing, and that's what we're trying to do as part of this.
Well, I think it's a great idea.
Thank you.
Making light of it, but I think it's a great idea that you do something.
All right, thank you, Chair Bash, appreciate that.
Thank you for letting me speak. Appreciate it.
Yes. All right, thank you. Anyone else for open correspondence?
Honorable Mayor and members of the council, Brian Miller, 295 Lakeview Avenue. I'm sure everyone thought it was going to be a short meeting, given the agenda, but sit back, relax. This is going to be the longest 5 minutes you've ever spent. No, I just want to commend you all once again for the work that you do for the city of Long Lake. I think each of you bring a unique asset to the city that's very beneficial to all of us, and I include Scott and Jeanette when I say that. And really, I just want to wish you all a happy Thanksgiving.
Very nice, great.
You too, thanks, Brian.
Okay, anyone else for open correspondence?
We gonna be allowed to talk during the next section for the fire department, or?
Yeah, we might have time for questions or comments for that.
All right, I'll hold mine till then.
Okay. All right, so with that, we move on to item 7, and then 7A, updates and discussion regarding fire department matters. So, a lot has occurred in the last maybe 2 weeks regarding fire department matters. I guess I'll start off by mentioning a couple things. One is we had a fire advisory board meeting last week for our council members maybe we were having that. It was our 6th fire advisory board meeting of the year, and we're at the request of Orono, which we're happy to do, try to answer their questions. A lot of questions about duty crews and kind of the ins and outs of duty crews, who's sending for duty crews and things like that. And ultimately what we're trying to get at is get an approval of our budget, our 2024 operating budget, which we have had initially, where we have reduced significantly at the request, specifically the duty crew amount. I think we started maybe 98,000 or something like that, and we at their request lowered it below 60,000. So that's one step we've done, and there's some discussion about maybe moving that again, but in the end we kept it where it's at. We feel strongly about duty crews. We got an update from Chief Highland and the success he's been having duty crews. The numbers have kind of picked up every month, and he's got some data he's been keeping about response times and things like that. And it's become very popular amongst firefighters, and a lot of signups have been occurring. It's not 100% signups, but more successful than we had imagined. So that's really good. So the increase in the budget is tied to duty crews and is tied to raises for the firefighters. We did an analysis, or really the citywide did an analysis which they provided to us that listed rates for intercall firefighters in our area, and we realized what we've always known, but it solidified that our local firefighters are not paid as much as some of the peer departments around us, so we proposed raising that rate. And ultimately, both cities have agreed to, at least the members of the Fire Advisory Board, both cities have agreed to pay rate of $15.65, up from $13 an hour currently. So we'd love to see that. We'd love to be able, and these are firefighters who will serve Orono and Minnetonka Beach and Medina. And Orono has requested a change in service area as of July 1st of next year, and that's moving ahead by all indications. But Alani firefighters will serve Orono throughout all of 2024 and throughout all of 2025. So we're very hopeful that Orono City Council will approve it. We ask that they approve it without other strings attached that are related to negotiations or things like that, which we'd like to continue to do on the side. But they will be voting on that. We spoke with their city administrator. They'll be putting that on the agenda on the 11th of December, Monday, December 11th. So we're hopeful that on that date they will approve our 2024 budget. So that was a big development, but an even bigger development was just this afternoon when Hennepin County District Court Judge Lori Miller held the city of Orono in contempt of court, issued an order for contempt. And this, to give folks a background on where we got to where we are today, just in a quick background, because this could take weeks and even months. But back in the spring, we became alarmed and aware of contract violations that were either already occurring or breaches of our contract. We engaged outside legal counsel at recommendation from some folks, and our outside legal counsel sent 2 different letters to the city of Orono back in April and May, kind of warning them that some things that they're doing are either in violation of our contract or planned violations of our contract. And we were hoping that would be it, but on June 12th, 2023, the Orono City Council made a vote, one of the things they did was they made a vote to take over control of the Long Lake Fire Station 2, which is located in the southern part of Orono. Long Lake is contractually obligated to operate and control that fire station through the end of 2025. And that was a clear breach of the contract. So at that point, we solicited asked our legal counsel to file an action in court, and that led to Hennepin County Judge Miller issuing a action on July, I think 14th or so, that was an injunction essentially, telling Orono they need to stop doing certain things to violate the contract, and listed out several different things regarding recruiting, regarding any modifications or doing any alterations or otherwise interfering with Fire Station 2 or actually either one of the fire stations. And we were hoping that would take care of the issue and all we really want is for Orono to adhere to our contract. Right? This contract's been in place for 20 years, over 20 years. The only thing we're looking for is Orono to, it's a written agreement, we're in with them, and we want them to be a good partner with us and to be, again, in compliance with that contract. So we're hoping that would be the end of it, but we began to see indications that Orono was violating the judge's order in August, July, actually almost immediately, but July, August, September, things like that. So we again worked with our legal counsel to try to find a resolution to this, and ultimately we decided in October that we needed to make another motion with the court to request that they determine whether or not Orono should be held in contempt of court. So that request is done. Several legal documents were filed by both cities, and again, we're trying to be as transparent as we can be with this matter. In our website, under the Fire Department Information tab, has all sorts of court documents in there. It has documents filed by both cities. We encourage people to look at documentation from both cities and see what folks have been saying. And in the end, just today, I should back up, there was a hearing on this about 2 weeks ago. Judge Miller's courtroom, both cities went, kind of made their case as to why they were not violating the judge's injunction from July. And Judge Miller ruled that Orono is in contempt of court, did violate her order from July. And she broke down her order in several different areas, including firefighter recruitment, Station 2, their actions in Station 2. I won't go through the entire ruling. We are going to post on our website. We are going to send out a listserv message to our residents and others that are signed up on our listserv. But a lot of statements from Judge Miller indicating that she believes that she held really that Orono was in contempt of court regarding her order regarding firefighter recruitment. Some of the things they've been doing regarding recruitment on open house, any text messages to our firefighters, things like that, were in violation of her order as she deemed. And additionally, the actions that Orono was taking regarding Fire Station 2 that we learned about in, I believe, September, were also in violation of her order when she ordered them back in July to work with Long Lake and have Long Lake review any plans regarding the additions or modifications they were thinking about doing to any fire station, really. Both stations were covered. So in the end, we're hopeful that this will kind of really make it really clear to Orono that they need to abide by the contract. Again, that's all that we're looking for here. We're trying to operate the fire department. We're going to be doing that for the very foreseeable future, but specifically when it comes to Orono, we're under contract to provide fire service to their communities, which we plan on doing and enjoy doing. We're a great fire department, so whether they change service areas and that diminishes some of our service area, that's their prerogative. But for the rest of the city, we're going to continue to provide great service to their city through our fire department. The judge's ruling concludes with ordering Orono to pay for our attorney's fees as part of this cause of motion that we brought before them. And it also deems Orono shall pay a fine of $2,000 for each instance of any future contact for the purposes of recruitment, and then issues or if any instances of violations regarding fire station 1 or fire station 2 without involving Long Lake in the planning process. So that was a very big update today. Again, this is not something that I think any of us set out to do, to take our neighboring city to court, but I personally feel vindicated that we've been. Fire advisory board?
Yeah, just to add to the fire advisory board comments, so we're required, and I think you said this, to have at least 4 meetings a year, and at Orono's request, this was our 6th meeting, and Orono, or Charlie and I supported it because it's really important for us. With everything else that's going on, we still have a fire department to support, and that needs a budget approved for next year. So it's been really important to me for the last several months. Normally this is completed in August and September, to get that budget approved so that the firefighters can do their job next year. And so we wanted to provide anything that Orono was asking for in terms of, and it was mainly duty crew data that they were asking for. And so we had that meeting. I think it was 2.5 hours long, and we talked about all the data that Mike Highland had brought up. We had 3 months now of data from this duty crew pilot program. And as Charlie said, it's exceeded his expectations. It's getting really good response. In fact, he was getting more people wanting to get slots than there were slots available in many cases. So he's happy with how that's going. And so we're coming up to the end of the year. I don't know if Orono's going to approve the budget or not, but I did remind them that Fire Advisory Board, our function is to review and edit budgets and support budgets. That's it. I mean, we're not here to bring in other terms or conditions from outside the contract, but we're not here. Our function isn't to get into how Chief Highland operates the fire department. It's budgets, and that's what we should be doing here. So I hope they approve it. I mean, they supported the pay raise that Charlie was referring to. They support, they say they support duty crews. So as far as that line item goes, it was 98,000 if you had 100% participation. We had come in originally with estimating we had 85% participation, so it's about 85,000. And then they wanted to drop it to 60,000, and so that's about 60% participation. So we did that, and in fact, October, I think it was higher than 60%. So, you know, we might be shorting ourselves a little bit there, but, you know, we'll make it work if they'll approve that. But I should point out too that, I was just looking at the budget here, so the current budget has an increase of 109,000 to Orono. And 80% of that increase is the pay raise that they approve or support, the duty crew that they say they support, and then insurance, which always is a major hitter. So 80% of the increase of 109,000 is things that they say they support, and then the other 20% is just operations, right? It's just so it's about 25,000 maybe in an increase for just the other line items in the operations of the fire department. So I mean, it's pretty minimal when you consider all the other things that are going on. So that was the one thing I hope they supported at their December 11th meeting, and we'll see what happens. And then the other thing I wanted to mention is I've had some conversations with some local residents, and maybe we need to do a little. Maybe I need to be a little bit more clear on some things, because there's some, just some rumors that are floating around, like Long Lake doesn't have a plan. At least Orono has a plan, Long Lake doesn't have a plan. I said, yeah, we have a plan. And so, well, what is it? And I said, because there's some that suggest that Long Lake thinks they're gonna go it alone, when the contract is over in 2 years. And I said, no, we're not gonna go it alone. Our plan is that we will have a partnership, whether you call it a joint powers agreement, or a district, or a merger, or a partnership. We've had discussions with some of the neighboring fire departments, and no, there's no handshake agreement like the Orono mayor has claimed, but we've had discussions and we have options. But it's still, at least in my opinion, our desire to have that JPA with Orono. I mean, that's what we have presented numerous times when we've been in negotiations, that we want the fire department to be a JPA where it's operated under an independent fire board, not Long Lake, not Orono, not Medina, but an independent fire board that oversees the operation of the fire department. That's how Excelsior currently has their fire department set up, with Tonka Bay, Deep Haven, Shorewood, Greenwood. Is that 5? There's 5 cities. So it'd be very similar to that. And then, so I just want to make that clear, that we will have come January 2026, we will be in some sort of agreement with the surrounding fire department or fire departments, in my opinion, or cities. I shouldn't say. I mean, because it leads to my second point, is that it was suggested to me, or stated to me, that some think that we have pulled the JPA offer to Orono off the table, and that's not that's not an offer anymore. And there hasn't been much discussion about it since we made that offer last January. But that was our primary offer to them, or counteroffer, that we do a JPA arrangement, which we've been saying all along, at least between us, and maybe we haven't been public enough about it. And they haven't really addressed that. They made their decision in June, to go their own way. But in my opinion, and maybe correct me if I'm wrong, but that's still our desire would be, because they're our closest neighbor, to have a JPA with Orono. And that's what I told them, and I don't know that that's not true. I mean, am I alone on this? I don't think I am, but
Last official opinion, and it's in writing, and
yeah,
option A from.
right, it's option A, and it was never addressed, but it wasn't removed either. So I would say, whether, like I said, it's gonna be with somebody, and I would prefer that it's with Orono. But right now, it kind of looks like, they made decisions that they're not interested in that. And if they're not interested in that, then it's gonna be somebody else. So, yeah, that's what I want to say about fire.
Can I, ask 2 quick questions for the fire advisory board, just to clarify, because not everyone may know who's a part of that. It's you and Mayor Minor, and then who from Orono?
Richard Crosby and Maria Beach,
Okay, and
and
then,
then, Mayor Martin, and, there's a council member, yeah,
Dina.
yeah.
from Medina.
Medina, yes. And Minnetonka Beach attends, they don't have voting rights, but Jennifer Halverson has been a pretty faithful attendee. She sat for about 2.5 hours last week, which, I don't know, I would have left maybe if I were her. But yeah, so they participate, because they're interested in this, because, you know, and a future JPA might include Minnetonka Beach then as well, so as a full partner rather than a contract city as they are now.
And then, you said with the proposed cut to the duty crew budget, is that gonna negatively impact the duty crew program?
Well, I think that we decided last time that we could make it work at 60%. I mean, October was a pretty heavy, it was a pretty high participation rate. That might have been an anomaly. I mean, so August was, you know, it was kind of trending upwards. Mike said that he'll make it work, if we can get the budget approved as it is right now. Because, well, here's the thing, so right now, all calls are going out as all calls, right? But once he has things more established and knowing how things are gonna go, you know, if you have a medical or lift assist, you don't need 15 firefighters showing up. So
Right,
then
well-
they could, so we might save on that line item, so there might be an offset of costs, you
Yeah,
know?
I mean, in the long run, the whole idea of the duty crew program is more efficiency, right? 'Cause we have
Efficiency and
more-
response time.
So to cut that just seems kind of counterintuitive to me.
It does, but, I'm hoping that Orono approves it. We'll see.
So what was the sentiment when you left the last meeting from Orono?
Well, they didn't give a confirmation either way. They had said they supported it at our fire advisory board meeting prior to that, the one in September. We were all in agreement, we all supported it, but that didn't go through, at least it was tabled at their next council meeting. So I'm hoping that now, as we get to the end of the year, because some of the council said, yeah, we have time, you know, this was back in September. Well, now we're running out of time. So, yeah, they didn't indicate any kind of definite yes or no. And so that's what we left it.
And there's some language in the contract that if it's for some reason not approved, there's some sort of fallback language on it being raised to the average percent, and if it doesn't get to that.
Yeah, I want to avoid that, because that's gonna get complicated. Yeah, there is a provision in the contract if they don't approve it, but it's just gonna get, you know, more complicated than it needs to, so,
But that protects us in the worst case
right,
scenario.
yeah, it's just, I'd rather avoid that. I mean, in the 21 years that we've done this, I mean, that's never happened, so.
The key
A
is,
lot of this stuff's never happened.
I mean, there seemed to be in principle an agreement on duty crews being a good thing. When it came with questions, those questions were answered.
Yeah,
Paid
And
us
the
the
biggest component then is duty crews, which is improves efficiency and response times, and pay raise. So,
well, yeah, and the other thing that Mike Highland, Chief Highland, mentioned that the duty crews has done is, you know, taking care of a lot of details and just cleaning up the stations and taking care of like maintenance that needed to be done, that could be done by firefighters, and also community engagement. In fact, my daughter was on the Orono swim team, and they went to state, and so, I was pleased to see that here was Long Lake Fire there to escort them out of town with the lights going and everything, you know, as they followed in their bus, and so, so things like that, community engagement, checking, what do you call those lock boxes that businesses have, you know, to make sure that they're working right, and just giving them time to, you know, to do some of that work that previously, you know, had been, you know, hadn't given the attention that they can give it now.
Okay, good updates there at the fire advisory board, and we're not scheduled to meet for the rest of the year here again, so we'll do it again early next year. So we'll wait, stay tuned for their vote on December 11th, and we'll remain hopeful. Okay, anything else regarding that agenda item?
Do you wanna-
Did you have a comment, sir?
I sure do.
Jay Nygaard, 1386 West Point Road. Of course, grew up here and my heart's with this city. For obvious reasons, you guys have accomplished what I've been trying to do for 12 years. Get the courts to understand that Orono, first of all, doesn't like following laws, and secondly, doesn't really appreciate court orders. And you did a really good job of that in the way it was approached. And I'm a little disheartened that the judge wasn't a little more firm, but it's nice to see that she came across and understood, basically, that the disingenuous people are not in this room. The disingenuous people, the people who aren't doing the right thing, are in another room a short ways away. And, I worry a little bit, and I'm really glad you're working on a community solution for this. And it absolutely makes the most sense to say, yes, let's work with Orono if they end up having a fire department, which is still up in the air, because there's an election coming and everything could change, which is a crazy part of all this. But it seems to me a little bit like, when you're talking like, well, we'd really like to work with Orono, the abused spouse or the abused kid is still trying to hang out with the abuser. And that's kind of where you guys are stuck, which is really hard for you guys. But the best part is, you're still trying to do the right thing through all of this that's going on. So I, as an Orono resident, greatly appreciate your effort and what you've been doing, and I really appreciate the fact that the courts came across and did what I see as the right thing.
Thank you, Mr. Nygaard. Okay, with that, we will move on and go to other business already. Around the corner here, Councilor McQualley.
Nothing for me.
Okay, so, Phil?
Yeah, we had a planning commission meeting, it was very short, so Anita, as you see, was on consent, and it was Jeff's first meeting, so I think it was like a 10-minute meeting, very, very short, but, yeah.
Nothing? Great. Councilor Dyer?
Yeah, so I mentioned the Orono swim and dive team, of which my daughter's a member. Congratulations to them because they went to state and took second in the state. And this is the individual kind of state tournament where a month ago they had the true team state tournament and they won the championship on that. And then they took second place in kind of the individual. It's a complicated thing. I don't understand exactly how they determine teams, but when they're doing these individual races, but they had never gotten second place before, so this was a big deal. So congratulations to them.
That's awesome.
Congratulations.
Congrats, yeah.
That's all I have.
Okay. Another thing on the agenda coming up is holiday home lighting contest, home decorating contest. So Jeanette and I have been working on that, and Councilmember Joyce, and we'll share an email out over the next couple of days, maybe early next week, about that. But it is looking like it's going to occur again. We have some good prizes lining up today. So thanks, Jeanette, for working with that. Thanks to our businesses. We'll officially recognize them in the future here, but we have some local alumni businesses donating for that. So if you're watching home, get ready and get out in your yard and start putting up your decorations, and everything's looking great. Hope to maybe have some new entries this year too. So that is on the horizon, and yeah, just hope everybody has a great Thanksgiving. It was a nice time of the year, and we'll spend some time relaxing and just enjoying some good food, spending time with friends or family, all sorts of things. So happy Thanksgiving to everyone at home and everybody in the council. I'm thankful for all of you this year in particular, and thankful for staff as well. I can't, we were all down at the Excelsior Library last week for the presentation. Just made me realize what a cohesive group we are, how well we work together, and we can stand with each other in the same room and laugh and have a conversation and be all on the same page when it comes to our initiatives and everything like that. We're going to disagree on some things over time, which everybody should. That's good. That's healthy. But overall, we have a really great group here. So I'm thankful for all of you this year as well as our staff. So, Councilmember Joyce, anything from you?
I echo that, thank you. And we had a park board meeting last night, so we were just planning and prepping for the holiday tree lighting. As we said, it's December 8th at 5:30 in Holbrook Park. And then, we also, Erica, one of our board members, found some very, interesting grant opportunities potentially for us to go after. So we're gonna review those on Monday, the 11th, I think it's 11th, yep. And, kind of start strategizing how to apply, and what to go for, and what we want to put those towards if we do get awarded any. So I'll bring back more info after the 8th on those.
Okay, great. Thanks. Scott? All right, Jeanette?
Nothing other than a happy Thanksgiving to all of you and your families.
Great,
Enjoy.
thank you. And city offices will be closed on Thursday and Friday, I'm assuming?
Yes.
All right, great. Let's wait till Monday then. And, just gonna see one.
While you're thinking about that, I have
Yes.
a quick one. Last week we did do a review with the fire department, just the software that we currently use. So we had Mike, Chris Adams, and Gonzer, we kind of went over some of that. Essentially, we're trying to find just more efficient software for this request, so we're kind of spearheading that. And so far, it looks like there's some pretty good things that we can use to make it more efficient and have 2 clicks instead of 10 clicks. Some of the stuff is really clunky that is inherited, so I think that's very positive development over there.
And software by the means of like dispatching, like kind of.
So like, getting tickets for equipment fixing, like image trend database, getting that into.
So essentially, we're trying to get like 4 or 5 of them that are all in their own space, all in one location, that actually has software up there that you can pull all that information from one system, so that having them all over.
Yeah, and they'll help with the transition, and so there's hopefully, and then if we do want to leave, they'll dump state for us, we're not gonna be vendor locked. It seemed like they're saying all the right things, so we'll see, but, it seemed pretty attractive to me.
Nice, okay, good update. Thank you. All right, Sean, nothing, we have to approach the mic.
I'm good, thank you.
All right, sounds good. I did not think what I was gonna say, I'll think about 3 minutes, I'll let you know.
Are people moving into the stacks?
Oh, yeah.
And what about Zvago?
And Zvago, I
That's
heard.
right.
Yes, they are, both
So,
of them.
yes, okay, that's part, I just thought of the other thing and that thing, that's a really good
I
one.
heard
So-
they're all going to Ace too, so Ace is getting new business.
I spoke with the manager that you were connecting with, Jeanette, I spoke to her on Friday, and they're gonna have an open house at Stacks. So probably the second week or so in December, we'll all be invited, and we'll get some tours and things like that. So stay tuned for that.
I wanna go to that
Yeah.
open house.
Okay, we'll let you know. And then on December 11th, that's what I was gonna, a busy day on December 11th, I got invited to, Andrew Myers is hosting a kind of roundtable event in Tiger Beach City Hall for the cities in his district, which is 11 cities.
Is that something he wants, the whole, yeah, we all
Oh,
got that,
okay.
does he want
I
like
did not know
entire
that.
councils to go, or just one?
Interesting, we've got a quorum notice, but I was kind of wondering, that Minnetonka Beach City Hall is not very large, so I don't know how many people they can hold, but, okay, I'll wear that, so. Just on your radar, Jeanette, and I'll plan on going, it's in the morning, it's like 9 or 10 o'clock or something, yeah, in December, so. But if you're not gonna be able to make it, you let me or others know anything you want to pass on, and just looking for feedback, what cities' needs are that you might be able to help with at the legislature. Obviously, we just did a big one last week for the cities as is, which is great, so.
Hey, Render, would you be able to forward a copy of that so I can prep the quorum notice just in case?
Sure.
Thank you.
Do that, yes. Sorry, Deirdre, did you say something?
Oh, and he knows about fire, I mean, that's the other challenge that we have right now.
Yes, yeah, good point, yeah, we have invited him to our meetings, future fire services meetings, he has not been able to attend yet, but he's very much aware of the needs and consolidation movement, things like that, so, yeah. Okay.
Sorry, you have a quorum notice for December 8th, too? For the tree lighting?
Tree lighting?
And about tomorrow.
Thank you.
Yes. All right.
So can I ask another question? So why is Andrew having it at Minnetonka Beach? Is there a specific issue that this has been scheduled around?
I believe he just asked for a host, and I think he's live in Minnetonka Beach, which is the best, but exactly what I was chosen there, but he helped them out last year with the bonding initiative for the water treatment issue, so maybe it's right about him this year. Okay, we had a lot of last minute things on there, that's awesome. Anything else? All right, if there's no objection, I'll adjourn the meeting by general consent. Hearing none, meeting is adjourned at 7:18 p.m.
It's funny because ice rinks were a big part of the conversation last night.
Well, it's very full, you know, it's like, no, but I think it's like, just people have a piece of.
That's all happens for your nice
Here's the crowd, except for the turbine guy. All right, we're gonna sign off, folks. Thanks for joining in. Good day today. Orono loses. Orono loses. Was held in contempt of court. Gotta wonder how Walsh is gonna spin it. Turbine guy signing off.